Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are continuing our budget Kindred. We're looking at the top 10 niche dragons today. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps so much. Also, if you don't hit like and subscribe, they're going to let Diddy out. Yeah. It's not fair, but it's the law. So what is budget? I mean $2 or less all the time on this channel. When I say budget, it's always under $2, occasionally even lower. This one is, I guess, under $1.50, I think, but still, I'm just going to say $2 for the sake of simplicity. And as usual, I'm using the TCG market value, not a sponsor. Feedback. So which budget Kindred themes would you like to see? I'm really hoping for some ideas here, because I think I've got to come up with like 2 more videos, and I don't know what to do. But anyway, okay. Number 10. Okay, we've got Lotus Guardian. 7 mana for this. It is an artifact creature. It doesn't actually say dragon on it. I think I didn't notice that before, but whatever. It is a 4/4 flyer. And tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So this again is very much about if you've got some kind of like artifact synergy, or like you can easily cast artifacts or get them back from the graveyard, or you just want like a mana dork that can also be a flying blocker, a fairly good flying blocker. This could fit in a lot of decks, I think, but yeah. Artifact creature deck would probably get some benefit from that. Anyway, 39 cents. Number 9. Okay, Green Dragon. 4 green for this 4/4 flyer. It is actually a dragon. So whenever a Green Dragon enters the battlefield until end of turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt damage, destroy it. This is insane, right? If you have this in like a pinger deck, you're going to just wipe out everything that you want. This and Electricity are my main thought. Electricity, you can do 1 damage to 1 creature, and if you pay the overload cost, that's only 1 in a red, I believe. You do 1 damage to all creatures on the battlefield that you don't control. So basically, this plus Green Dragon would mean just one-sided board wipe, frankly. And if you can flicker Green Dragon or recast or something, you can probably just do that over and over. You don't need to do that a whole lot to win the game, frankly. Only 13 cents. Number 8. Dragon Mage. Okay, 5 red for this 5/5 flyer. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. That does include you, keep in mind. So if you want to cast things from your hand, do it before combat. And then, yeah, this is going to just keep getting everyone to discard their hand, draw 7. Which can be a bit risky, but this is a wheel, right? If you want to wheel people, this is almost like a must-have in wheel decks. I feel like a wheel deck is not doing it right unless it has this card. It's like this in Force Fruition, probably in any wheel deck. Anyway, 18 cents. Number 7. Excuse me. Storm Breath Dragon. 3 red for this 4/4 flying. Haste, protection from white. In the right situation, that is a very strong combo, but it also has 5 red Monstrosity 3. Monstrosity 3 means you put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. For 7 mana, that's a lot, right? But yeah, when it becomes monstrous, it deals damage equal to each opponent equal to the number of cards in the player's hand. So basically, this is a group hug commander where you're going to want to get people to draw a whole bunch of cards, and then you make this monstrous to pretty much like just do a pile of damage. And you can like flicker him to get those counters off and make him not monstrous, and then do it again. It's mana expensive, like not mana efficient is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what, I feel like there's a term for that I'm not thinking of right now. Anyway, yeah. 113, so even price-wise, it's a little bit higher than a lot of these, but yeah. Potentially very useful, especially if they've got like a lot of white creatures. Remember, protection from white means those white creatures cannot block. Or even creatures that have white in their color identity can't block this at all. Number 6. Foe Razor Regent. 5 green for this 4/5 flyer. I actually made a deck somewhat recently that I really wish I had put this in, and now I'm like, should I go back and fix it? I don't know. So when it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. Fight is really, really good and not used enough, I think. Creature removal, pretty much done for the game if you've got fight, right? Again, this is 7 mana for a 4/5 flyer. Might sound bad, but whenever a creature you control fights, put 2+1/+1 counters on it at the beginning of the next end step. So yeah, you're just going to keep throwing those +1/+1 counters on anything that fights, and this fights as soon as it comes into the battlefield. So yeah, it's going to be a 6/7 at the end of that turn. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Also, there's so many like dinosaur decks and things like that where you can get so much value out of just fight, and yeah, they'll keep doing it, and you're going to just end up with these massive creatures. So yeah, even at +2/+2 per turn, you don't need to do a whole lot of fighting to just win. Anyway, 19 cents. Number 5. Malfagor. This is another one I always think I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, I think Malfagor is right. Anyway, 2 black, red Rakdos for the 6/6 flyer. 6 CMC for a 6/6 flyer. It's okay. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand. Each opponent sacrifices a creature for each card discarded this way. Again, each opponent for each card. So if you discard 3 cards, each opponent has to lose 3 creatures. In a multiplayer game, that's like absolutely crazy. You might, if you cast this for 6 and discard 3 cards, you're destroying 9 creatures. That's like what, 0.66 of a mana per creature? Like what? Very good. First of all, secondly, yeah, that forced sacrifice is like the best removal, I think. They do get to choose, so there's the downside right there. If they have a bunch of tokens, they just lose the tokens, they don't really care. If they're doing like a Voltron strategy or something, that's game ending. That's that's gonna like really mess them up. And yeah. Also, that forced sacrifice gets around things like indestructibility, shroud, hexproof, doesn't care. Right? Sacrifice, the forced sacrifice thing affects the player, not the creature. So anything that messes with your ability to target them or like makes them indestructible or whatever, says they can't be destroyed, does not matter. Still, they go to the graveyard. They're done. 54 cents. Number 4. Okay, Topaz Dragon. 4 black for this 4/4 flyer with Death Touch. Really nice. A little bit of Death Touch, especially on a flyer. I think that's a nice combination. A flyer with higher toughness and Death Touch will get some, especially as a blocker, it gets work done, I think. Anyway, this is an adventure. So really, if you're looking to build an adventure deck, this is something I would definitely consider. For 1 and a black, you can cast it as an instant. Creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Remember, you cast this as an instant, and then it goes to exile, and then you can cast it as a creature. If you got something that lets you cast instants from your graveyard, you can cast it again, and it'll go to exile, and then you can do the creature again, and just keep cycling it like that. So yeah, this could potentially just be like reload, do it again, over and over and over. There's also a lot of like extra nice mechanic bonuses for using adventures that you can find as well. So that's something to think on. 12 cents only. Number 3. Mirrorwing Dragon. This is kind of funny, I think. Anyway, 3 red for this 4/5 flyer. So whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Mirror Wing Dragon, that player copies the spell for each creature they control that the spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. So if they use any kind of... First of all, you're using this as like, what was it called? Zadahedron Grinder. Any kind of bonuses you can cast on your commander and give to all of your creatures. So it's a big help for you, but Zadahedron Grinder does this as well. Zadahedron Grinder only affects you though. This affects the other players. So yeah, if they cast like some kind of targeted removal on Mirror Wing, it affects their whole board. They're basically like blowing up. They're giving themselves a one-sided board wipe by casting anything on your commander. It's going to destroy their whole board. Like, you want to talk about the best protection? That's it right there. That's going to like Shroud. This is like an atomic bomb cast on themselves if they mess with your commander. It's amazing. I think that's so funny. Anyway, 58 cents. Number 2. A Hoarding Broodlord. 5 black. 8 CMC. So high. I know, it's terrible. But it has Convoke, first of all, so that's good, right? If you just have a whole bunch, even like 1/1 tokens, you can potentially cast this for free. Keep that in mind. So this is a 7/6 flyer. So when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. So the first thing this is going to do is tutor something for you, right? This is a tutor. For as long as it remains exiled, you may play it. So it tutors out whatever you want, and you can exile it and play it anytime you want. This just says anytime, not as long as it's on the board or anything like that. If this gets destroyed, you still have access to that spell. It's gonna be you can use this to set up all kinds of shenanigans. And yeah, anyway, spells you cast from exile have Convoke. So this is all about exile, right? This gives everything in exile Convoke. So if you can, exile a whole bunch of things, which red in particular is very good at. So if you got a Rakdos deck, think about this. And then, you're just going to be able to keep throwing, casting things by, like, basically you can make a bunch of tokens and cast everything, right? 181. Number 1. You might know who it is. Cool, the unrepentant, I can't say it. Unrepentant. There you go. I did it. Yay. Black, red for this 5/5 flying trample. Okay, 4 CMC for a 5/5 flyer with trample. I've said a few times recently, flying and trample together, because most flyers have lower toughness, flying and trample together is really good, first of all. And you could sacrifice 3 other creatures. Doesn't say non-token creatures. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once each turn. It is only once each turn, which is kind of the major limitation. But you can basically make a whole bunch of, like, as an aristocrat commander, this is crazy. I suppose it doesn't even have to be the commander, just in the deck. This is cheating out anything you want, just over and over and over. And it's only 4 CMC, so using it as a commander is a definite option. But getting those high-cost creatures out for 3/1/1 tokens, like, that is a deal. That is very, very useful. Anyway, that is... remember, it enters the battlefield does not mean it was cast, right? So if you've got something that requires it being cast, then that is not going to happen. So something to keep in mind. 23 cents. Top 10. Okay. 10 to 6. We've got Lotus Guardian is 39 cents. Green Dragon, 13 cents. Dragon Mage, 18 cents. Stormbreath Dragon, 113. Foe Razor Regent, 19 cents. Really much better than I originally, the more I think about this card, the better I think it is. Like, anyway, I should pick up one. Malfagor is 54 cents. Topaz Dragon is 12 cents. Mirrorwing Dragon is 58 cents. Hoarding Broodlord is 181. Akul the Unrepentant is 23 whole cents. All right, take it easy.